Welcome to Mr. Chow Time. What are we doing now? We're doing Slope-Intercept Form, Lesson 5, page 412, if you're following along the book. All right, let's get to it. Slope-Intercept Form. What is it? Well, last time we talked about direct variation, right? And in direct variation, it's y equals the constant of variation times x, where c is the constant of variation, right? And this is a specific kind of linear equation where the line goes through the origin, but that doesn't happen that often in life. It happens a lot, but what also happens is that sometimes the line does not pass through the origin. And in that case, we would have this this formula here, which is called slope-intercept form. Actually, so slope-intercept form, excuse me, also applies to proportional relationships, but we don't need to talk about that. So here is an example of an equation in slope-intercept form. In slope-intercept form, m is the slope, or how much the any given value goes up or down and then to the right. So the slope is equal to the change in y over the change in x, which we've talked about a couple times at this point, right? So the change in y here is 2, as you can see, 2. And 2 is equal to 2 over 1, right? So we're going to go up 2, and then we're going to go right 1. Up 2, right 1. Up 2, right 1. Up 2, right 1. That is the slope. The y-intercept, b, this part of the equation, is where the line crosses the y-axis. Remember, the y-intercept is where our graph crosses the y-axis. And the y-axis, I'm just going to make it real clear here, is this line right here. It would be more clear if that was thicker, huh? Can we do that? No, we can't. Oh, wait, maybe we can. Let's see. Does that do it? Oh, yes, here we go. The y-axis. Where does this cross the y-axis? Right here at 1. See, here's 1, here's 2, 3, 4. It crosses at 1, and that's right there. Okay, is that too thick? Yeah, I don't like that. Okay. So here's an example. State the slope and y-intercept. The slope, remember, is this one, the coefficient of x, the thing that we're multiplying with x. So the slope, m, equals 1 over 4. The y-intercept here is the thing that we're adding or subtracting. Here it's -6. So if we were to look at a graph, it would cross at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's -6. It would cross right here. And it would go up 1 and to the right 4. Up 1 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, right here. And then up 1, and then to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4. It would look like this. You don't need to do this part. I'm just illustrating for you how this works. Your turn. State the slope and y-intercept. Welcome back. The slope is -2. The y-intercept, or b, is 0, right? This is a constant of variation, or direct variation, or a constant, a proportional relationship, any of those that you want to call it, where b is 0. Where b is 0, that means it crosses through the origin, right? That means it's a direct variation. Don't forget about that. All right. State the slope and, y-intercept of this. Well, as you can see here, this is not in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. So we have to make it into that form. So what we want eventually is y by itself on one side. So we're going to isolate y, or solve for y, which is one of the skills that we've been practicing this year. We want it to be y on one side and everything else on the other side. So how do we do that here? Well, on this side with y is this -4 that we don't want. So we're going to add 4x. We have a -4x, we're going to add 4x. Now these two things are going to cancel out. If we do it to one side, we have to do it to the other side. Add 4x to the other side. Y equals 4x plus 2. Now we have it in slope-intercept form. State the slope in y-intercept. Yeah, so the slope is 4. M equals 4. The y-intercept b is 2. It's windy outside. All right. Your turn. We're going to subtract 6x from both sides. We're going to get y equals -6x minus 3. That means our m, our slope, is -6. Our b, our y-intercept, is -3. Boom. All right. Here's another your turn. What are we going to do here now? We're going to subtract 2 on both sides. And that's going to give us x minus 2 equals y. That means our slope is 1. Because remember, if there's no coefficient in front of the x, it's a 1. And our b, our y-intercept, is -2. Okay. Here's another example. You can use the slope-intercept form to graph a line instead of solving for 2 points. So last lesson, or maybe 2 lessons ago, we found the y-intercept and the x-intercept, right? We got 2 points, and with 2 points, you can graph a line. But we don't have to do that. With this, we can start with the 1 point we have, which is the y-intercept, which is 3, right? 1, 2, 3, that's right here. And then we'll just use our slope. Our slope here is -2 over 3. So we're going to go down 2 and to the right 3. Down 2 to the right 3. Down 2 to the right 3. Then we will just draw ourselves a line, just like that. Remember, when you draw a line, you should put the little arrows on the end to show that it goes on forever in both directions. There you have it. All right. Your turn. Graph this using the slope and y-intercept. So the slope, remember, is -1 because there's not a number here. So you can assume that there's a 1 and it's negative. The slope, the y-intercept is -2. So here we go. It's -2 right here. The slope is -1, which means we go down 1, we go over 1. We go down 1, we go over 1. And we draw this. Here you have it. There it is. All right. Let's take a look at an example of this. A typical leopard gecko is 3 inches long at birth and grows at a rate of about 1/3 inch per week. This word rate is a clue that this is the slope, because slope is a rate. It's a comparison between two numbers, right? The up and down change versus the right change. That's the rate. So it's 1/3 inch per week. So it's going to be 1/3 for the first few months. The total length of the gecko, y, after x weeks, can be represented by this equation. So graph the thing, huh? We're going to graph it. Is the graph on the next page? Yeah, it is. Great. So we're going to graph the m, where the slope is 1/3. The y-intercept is 3. So 1, 2, 3. There's 1 point there. I should probably stop using black. Let's use this blue color. Here we go. And then we're going to go up 1 to the right 3. Up 1 to the right 3. And then we're going to put a line. It's going to look like that. Such a beautiful line. Yeah, there you have it. I feel like my line should be thicker, but I like the right thin. Oh. Okay. Describe what the y-intercept and the slope represent. Well, the y-intercept. No, I don't want that color. Here we go. The y-intercept, which was 3, that was this point right here. The y-intercept, well, the y-axis, remember this is the length of the gecko, right? Can you see that? Yeah, just under my face. So what that means is at birth, the gecko was 3 centimeters. That's what the y-intercept represents. The slope represents how much it grows every week. It grows 1/3 of an inch. You need to be able to describe what the different parts of the equation mean, because we're past that point now in math where we're just solving problems. We're not just moving numbers around. The numbers always represent something. They're always modeling some situation. And so you need to be able to describe what the different parts of the equation mean. So one of the key skills of math at this point. All right, your turn. Skylar has written 30 pages of his new book. He's doing well, had a good start. He plans to write 12 pages per week until he has completed his novel. The total number of pages written, y, total pages, y, can be represented by y equals 12x plus 30, right? Plus 30, this is how much he started with. This is the beginning of the situation. And then 12 pages every week, where x is the number of weeks. Graph the equation. Describe what the x-intercept and the slope represent. Well, here's the thing. I can't really grade your graphs, so I'm just going to hope that you did this. The y-intercept is 30, and it's going to go up 12 and to the right 1. Up 12 and to the right 1. And so let's say that if this is 30, maybe like this is 42 or so. So it's going to look like this. Describe what the y-intercept and the slope represent. Well, I already did that. The y-intercept is, the y-intercept is how many pages he started at the beginning of the situation. He's already written 30 pages. And the slope is the number of pages he's going to write per week. All right. Here's your must-do. Enjoy.